Welcome to Rare Breed Brotherhood. True power doesn't shout, it whispers, and still everyone listens. Sigmas are the silent storms of society, moving with a quiet intensity that demands respect without ever asking for it. Unlike alphas who dominate through force or betas who conform to the crowd, sigmas carve their own path, operating outside traditional hierarchies. They don't crave attention, yet they command it. They don't need validation, yet they often become the benchmark others aspire to reach. What makes sigmas truly dangerous is their ability to outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast their competition. They thrive on independence, making them immune to manipulation and unshaken by external pressures. This is not about arrogance. It's about self-mastery. Sigmas understand that true strength lies in knowing yourself and using that knowledge to navigate a world designed to box people in. If you've ever felt like you don't fit into the mold society creates, maybe it's because you're not meant to. Maybe you're meant to be a sigma. Stay tuned as we explore 10 reasons why sigmas are not just unique, but a force to be reckoned with. Let's get started, brothers. Number 1, intellectual assassins. Sigmas are intellectual powerhouses using their sharp minds as their most effective weapon. They are not loud or boastful about their intelligence, but their ability to analyze, deconstruct, and reshape ideas is unmatched. Unlike others who rely on brute force or social dominance, sigmas dominate through logic, knowledge, and strategy, making them formidable in any intellectual confrontation. What makes sigmas dangerous as intellectual assassins is their ability to see through complexities and get to the heart of any matter. They are meticulous thinkers who can break down flawed arguments, challenge rigid ideologies, and expose the weaknesses in entire systems. They don't just argue for the sake of winning, they aim to unravel what doesn't work and propose alternatives that are sharper, stronger, and often unassailable. Their approach is quiet and deliberate. Sigmas don't engage in unnecessary debates or seek to prove their superiority in public arenas. Instead, they work behind the scenes, planting ideas, influencing decisions, or dismantling opposition with such subtlety that their involvement is often unnoticed. This stealthy intellectual approach ensures that by the time their influence is recognized, it's already too late to undo the damage or the progress they've caused. Sigmas are also lifelong learners. They constantly seek new knowledge, sharpening their minds to stay ahead of the curve. They don't just know things, they understand how to use what they know to shift power dynamics, challenge authority, or create meaningful change. Their intellect isn't about ego, it's about precision and purpose. When they strike, it's not just to dismantle, but to reconstruct. Sigmas leave their mark not through loud proclamations, but through lasting ideas and strategies that reshape the landscape, leaving others scrambling to keep up. This quiet dominance is what makes them truly lethal. Number 1, they live outside the matrix. Sigmas are a disruptive force because they refuse to play by the invisible rules that govern society. Where most people are trapped in a cycle of chasing approval, status, or validation, sigmas have already stepped outside of that system. They see the so-called matrix for what it is, a game designed to keep people in line, and they choose to operate on their own terms. This freedom from societal constraints is what makes them so unpredictable and ultimately so dangerous. Sigmas don't reject the system out of ignorance. They understand it deeply. They recognize how hierarchies are built, how power dynamics work, and how social norms are used to control behavior. Yet instead of climbing the ladder or trying to dominate within these structures, they step back and create their own path. This refusal to conform not only unsettles those who depend on these systems, but also exposes their flaws, making the sigma a constant challenge to the status quo. Living outside the matrix gives sigmas an unparalleled level of clarity and independence. They don't waste energy on superficial pursuits like gaining followers, impressing superiors, or maintaining appearances. They focus on what truly matters to them, setting their own rules and defining success on their own terms. This self-sufficiency makes them immune to many of the pressures and traps that keep others tethered to societal expectations. This outsider mindset also allows sigmas to see opportunities and threats that others miss. While the majority are too busy playing by the rules, sigmas rewrite them or ignore them altogether. They act without hesitation, unburdened by fear of judgment or failure, making them highly effective and nearly impossible to control. Sigmas thrive because they've freed themselves from the matrix, proving that the only real power is the ability to choose your own path. Number two, they know when to move and when to stay still. Sigmas are the embodiment of calculated patience. They understand that in life, timing is everything. Unlike those who rush into action or react impulsively to every situation, Sigmas observe, analyze, and wait for the perfect moment to move. This ability to bide their time makes them incredibly efficient and, when they do act, devastatingly effective. Sigmas don't see waiting as inaction, it's preparation. While others exhaust themselves chasing every opportunity or responding to every provocation, Sigmas conserve their energy, focusing only on moves that truly matter. They understand that striking too early can be as detrimental as striking too late. Their patience allows them to avoid unnecessary risks and ensures that when they do step forward, it's with complete control and purpose. This approach often leaves competitors blindsided. While others are caught up in the frenzy of trying to stay ahead, Sigmas are silently positioning themselves for success. By the time they make their move, they've already accounted for every variable, every outcome. Their actions are so precise and decisive that it's almost impossible to counter them. Sigmas also know the power of staying still. They understand that sometimes the best course of action is no action at all, letting others exhaust themselves or reveal their weaknesses. This disciplined restraint allows Sigmas to maintain an air of unpredictability, as no one can anticipate when or how they will act. In a world driven by urgency and impulsiveness, Sigmas stand out as masters of timing. They don't waste their resources chasing every opportunity or battling every opponent. Instead, they wait for the exact moment when their actions will have the greatest impact, making them formidable forces that always seem to win when it truly matters. Number three, untraceable. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, Sigmas stand apart as masters of discretion. They value their privacy and understand the power that comes with remaining untraceable. While others broadcast their lives across social media and digital platforms, Sigmas move quietly, keeping their plans, actions, and even their presence shrouded in mystery. This makes them incredibly difficult to track, both in the real world and online, giving them a distinct advantage in an age where information is currency. Sigmas are highly aware of the digital footprint that most people leave behind, and they take deliberate steps to minimize theirs. They don't seek validation through likes or followers, and rarely reveal more than necessary. This isn't just about privacy, it's about maintaining control. By controlling what others know about them, Sigmas can gather information and make strategic moves without alerting anyone to their intentions. This anonymity allows them to operate in the shadows, observing, planning, and executing without interference. They know how to blend in when needed and disappear when the moment requires it. Their digital presence, if it exists at all, is carefully curated to reveal nothing of real significance. This keeps them one step ahead of those who might seek to manipulate or track them. In confrontations or competitive environments, this untraceability gives Sigmas an edge. Opponents can't predict their moves or even confirm their involvement, making it nearly impossible to counter them effectively. Their ability to stay hidden while still gathering intelligence makes them a quiet but undeniable force. In the digital age, where being visible often means being vulnerable, Sigmas have mastered the art of staying unseen. They don't need recognition. They thrive in the shadows, where they can observe, strategize, and act with precision while remaining completely undetected. Number four, master strategists in the shadows. Sigmas are the unseen architects of their own success, thriving where others might falter, behind the scenes, in the quiet spaces where plans are formed and power is cultivated. They don't need the spotlight to prove their worth. Their strength lies in their ability to analyze, adapt, and execute without drawing unnecessary attention. This is what makes them dangerous. While others clamor for recognition or rush into action, Sigmas patiently observe, taking in every detail, every weakness, every opportunity. Their silence is not a sign of passivity, but of preparation. They have the unique ability to detach from the noise of the world and focus on what truly matters. By the time others realize they're playing the game, the Sigma is already 5 moves ahead. Their unpredictability is their greatest weapon. No one sees them coming, and when they do act, it's with a precision that leaves little room for error or retaliation. Sigmas are not impulsive. They understand the value of timing and are masters at waiting for the perfect moment to make their move. Unlike those who act out of fear, ego, or desperation, Sigmas strike only when they know the odds are stacked in their favor. This calculated approach often leaves their opponents bewildered and powerless to respond. But it's not just about strategy, it's about self-control. Sigmas are deeply attuned to their own strengths and weaknesses, and they use this awareness to their advantage. They're not distracted by praise or criticism, nor are they swayed by fleeting trends or emotional appeals. Their focus is unshakable, their resolve unbreakable. This ability to operate in the shadows, combined with their relentless drive for self-mastery, is what makes Sigmas both fascinating and formidable. They are the quiet force that reshapes the game without ever needing to announce their presence. Number 5, adaptable chameleons. Sigmas possess an almost uncanny ability to adapt to any environment, moving effortlessly between worlds that would challenge others. They don't seek attention or validation, yet their quiet presence often commands intrigue. What sets them apart is their capacity to observe, absorb, and align with the dynamics of any situation without ever compromising who they truly are. This adaptability isn't superficial. It's a finely tuned skill born out of self-awareness and an acute understanding of human behavior. Sigmas can walk into a room full of strangers, take note of the unspoken rules, and seamlessly adjust their demeanor to fit the moment. They listen more than they speak, learning the language of the environment before contributing in ways that feel both natural and impactful. While others may struggle to find their footing in unfamiliar situations, Sigmas thrive. They aren't confined by rigid social roles or expectations, and this freedom gives them an edge. Whether they're navigating corporate boardrooms, casual gatherings, or high-stakes negotiations, their ability to blend in while staying true to their principles leaves others guessing about their true intentions. This enigmatic quality is what makes Sigmas so dangerous in the eyes of those who underestimate them. They can infiltrate any circle, gain the trust of those around them, and quietly observe without revealing too much of themselves. This creates a strategic advantage. By the time people start to notice the Sigma's influence, they're often already entrenched in a position of strength. But their adaptability isn't about manipulation, it's about understanding. Sigmas know that every situation demands a unique approach, and they're willing to adjust as needed. This flexibility, combined with their ability to remain grounded, makes them a force to be reckoned with wherever they go. Number 6, rule breakers with a purpose. Sigmas are not reckless rebels or mindless contrarians. They break rules with intention and precision. To them, rules are not sacred. They are guidelines created by others, often to maintain control or enforce conformity. Sigmas see the cracks in these systems and understand when rules are outdated, inefficient, or simply unnecessary. Their defiance isn't about ego or rebellion for its own sake. It's about creating space for something better. When Sigmas reject a rule, it's because they've already calculated the risks and benefits. They don't act impulsively, they act with purpose. This makes their rule-breaking far more impactful than the chaotic rebellion of those who simply want to stand out. Every action is deliberate, every move part of a larger strategy to carve their own path in a world designed to box people in. Their ability to dismantle systems is what makes them truly dangerous. By refusing to play by established rules, Sigmas expose the weaknesses in hierarchies and institutions. They force those who depend on tradition to confront their own limitations and adapt, or risk being left behind. This often leaves leaders scrambling, trying to regain control over a situation the Sigma has already outmaneuvered. But Sigmas don't break rules to create chaos. They do it to create progress, to challenge the status quo, and to build something more aligned with their values and vision. They understand that true growth often requires disruption, and they're willing to shoulder the burden of being the disruptor. This calculated defiance inspires others, even if it unsettles them at first. It's not just about rejecting authority, it's about demonstrating that authority should always be earned, not blindly followed. By breaking the rules with purpose, Sigmas prove that freedom and innovation belong to those brave enough to question the way things have always been. Number 7, lone wolves who build strong packs. Sigmas are often seen as lone wolves, thriving in solitude and independence. However, What sets them apart is their ability to forge strong, meaningful connections when the situation calls for it. Unlike alphas, who rely on dominance and control to command loyalty, sigmas approach relationships with respect and mutual benefit. This makes their alliances not just functional, but deeply rooted in trust and authenticity. When sigmas form a pack, it's never out of necessity or insecurity. It's a calculated decision to align with like-minded individuals who share common goals or values. They don't surround themselves with people to feel powerful or validated. They choose companions who bring value to the table and who, in turn, benefit from the sigma's unique qualities. This creates a dynamic of equality, where loyalty isn't demanded but naturally earned. What makes these groups so unbreakable is the foundation they're built on. Sigmas don't micromanage or manipulate their allies. Instead, they empower those around them, offering guidance and support without overshadowing anyone's individuality. This approach fosters genuine respect, which is far more enduring than loyalty rooted in fear or obligation. Even within a group, sigmas maintain their autonomy, setting the tone for others to do the same. They are the kind of leaders who lead by example, showing that strength doesn't have to come from control but from self-assurance and shared purpose. This creates a bond that transcends superficial dynamics, as every member of the pack knows their place is secure, not because of submission but because of mutual appreciation. While they prefer solitude, a sigma's ability to build a loyal, tightly knit group when necessary makes them even more formidable. Their packs may be small, but they are resilient, and the loyalty they inspire is virtually unshakable. Number 8, masters of psychological warfare. Sigmas have an almost instinctive understanding of human psychology, allowing them to navigate interpersonal dynamics with unmatched precision. They don't rely on brute force or overt displays of power to get what they want. Instead, they operate on a psychological level, using subtlety and strategy to influence outcomes and disarm opponents. This makes them masters of psychological warfare, capable of dismantling even the most confident adversaries without breaking a sweat. Their strength lies in their ability to read people. Sigmas can quickly assess a person's insecurities, desires, and motivations, using this knowledge to predict behavior and exploit weaknesses. They know exactly when to push, when to hold back, and when to let silence do the talking. By avoiding direct confrontation, they force others to question their own decisions, creating doubt and hesitation that often work in the Sigma's favor. Sigmas excel at subtle provocations, planting seeds of doubt or triggering reactions without ever being obvious about it. They might make an offhand comment that lingers in someone's mind or frame a question that forces their opponent to reveal more than they intended. These calculated moves destabilize others, putting the Sigma in a position of control without ever seeming aggressive or manipulative. Reverse psychology is another powerful tool in the Sigma's arsenal. They know how to make people feel like their choices are entirely their own, even when those choices align perfectly with the Sigma's goals. This ability to guide without dictating is what makes them so dangerous. It's hard to resist someone who seems to have no agenda but ends up steering the situation effortlessly. In psychological warfare, Sigmas are unrivaled. Their calm demeanor, strategic mind, and deep understanding of human nature make them nearly impossible to outwit or intimidate. Number 9, fearless in the face of loss. Sigmas are unshaken by the prospect of loss or failure. Unlike many who are driven by the fear of losing what they've built or protecting their position, Sigmas approach risk with a unique sense of fearlessness. They don't see loss as an end, but as an opportunity to begin again, stronger, wiser, and more equipped to navigate the challenges ahead. This confidence in their ability to rebuild, regardless of the circumstances, gives them a profound edge in any confrontation. While most people cling desperately to their possessions, status, or relationships, fearing the fallout of a misstep, Sigmas have a different mindset. They understand that nothing is permanent, and that true power comes not from holding on to what you have, but from your ability to rebuild after it's gone. This makes them incredibly resilient and adaptable. The idea of starting from scratch doesn't intimidate them, it excites them. In a high-stakes situation, Sigmas are willing to risk what others hold dear because they know that they don't need to rely on the past to secure their future. Their ability to detach from attachments while still maintaining strategic focus makes them unpredictable and hard to defeat. Where others might hesitate, weighed down by fear of losing everything, Sigmas move decisively, knowing that even in loss, they have the capacity to rebuild and rise again. This fearlessness allows Sigmas to take risks that others simply won't. They're not afraid of the consequences of failure because they see failure as a learning experience, a step toward greater mastery. It's this mindset that makes them formidable adversaries because in the end, they know that no matter how many times they fall, they will always rise stronger. Number 10, threats to hierarchies. Sigmas are a direct challenge to the traditional power structures that rely on conformity and control. By simply existing outside of the norms that define society's hierarchies, they force the systems built on these norms to question their own validity. While alphas and betas fight for dominance within established structures, Sigmas quietly dismantle these structures by refusing to play by the rules. Their mere presence in any environment exposes the limitations of traditional power dynamics and forces those at the top to reconsider their approach. Alphas, who thrive on dominance, struggle to exert influence over a Sigma because the Sigma doesn't seek validation or recognition. Unlike others who conform to social expectations in exchange for power, Sigmas are self-sufficient, answering only to their own standards. This creates discomfort for those in charge as they can't manipulate or control a Sigma in the same way they do with others. The Sigma's independence undermines the very foundation of traditional leadership, forcing those in positions of power to confront their own vulnerabilities. Betas, on the other hand, who typically defer to alphas and seek approval, often find themselves lost in the Sigma's presence. Sigmas don't need validation, and their self-reliance leaves little room for those who are accustomed to depending on external structures of power. The Sigma doesn't seek to replace the hierarchy, it simply bypasses it, rendering it irrelevant to their success. In a world obsessed with control and submission, Sigmas are a constant reminder that true power doesn't require a title, a position, or a group to follow. Their existence challenges the notion that power must be earned through dominance, and reminds everyone that sometimes stepping outside the hierarchy is the only way to truly thrive. As I wrap up, in a world where most people follow predictable patterns and play by unwritten rules, Sigmas stand out as a breed apart. They are independent thinkers who refuse to be boxed in by societal norms, thriving on their ability to adapt, strategize, and remain unpredictable. What makes them truly dangerous is not their defiance, but their mastery over themselves and their surroundings. They know who they are, what they want, and they move with purpose, calm, calculated, and unshaken. Sigmas don't need permission to succeed. They carve their own path, making decisions based on logic, not fear. They don't crave status or approval, and that freedom gives them a clarity of purpose that others struggle to achieve. While most are busy trying to fit in, Sigmas operate outside the system, seeing it for what it is and using it to their advantage. But being a Sigma isn't just about independence, it's about balance. It's about having the patience to wait, the courage to act, and the wisdom to know the difference. It's about building strength without arrogance, forming connections without dependence, and staying true to yourself no matter the odds. This is what sets Sigmas apart and makes them a force to be reckoned with. If you see yourself in this description, know that being a Sigma isn't about being perfect. It's about embracing your unique strengths and owning your choices. It's about living authentically and refusing to settle for less than what you deserve. The world needs people like you, those who don't follow but lead in their own quiet, unshakable way. So keep moving forward, stay sharp, and never forget the most dangerous person in the room is the one who doesn't need to prove it. Thank you for watching. See you in our next video. God bless you.